And we should be back, technically, hopefully.
Oh, hi-oh.
Where's my music? It's not this. This. Why are you not capturing music? Now you capture music. Welcome back. I'm so sorry for this technical difficulties. My PC literally crashed during drawing. What I wanted to explain is that you can just like take all the runes that make up a spell and just write them next to each other. This would still work, but like again, this has to do with like spell development. Like over time, like certain runes just establish themselves. That you could find in different countries runes being spelled differently with the same symbols. They still work. So
do simplified spells risk having their outcomes be less guaranteed? Like if you write more runes, more general runes into a spell, I assume it would require more mana, but would you be more likely to guarantee the outcome that you wanted? Is there like a risk/reward to doing things simpler or more complicated, or is it just if you can do it simpler, you should do it simpler?
The simple rune and the intent are normally enough with a bit of trial and error. Stuff like Magitech, for example, where it always has to give the same effect, that would be a very complex rune.
yes. Also the mana like usage would be like greater with like bigger runes. And a bigger rune doesn't necessarily mean that you get the wanted outcome, because your intent still needs to be there, and your knowledge for the intent need to be there, and you need the knowledge on what magical component you need. That is why developing spells is around, like it's like classes about this start around B to A rank. That is when you start taking classes on theoretically and practically creating new spells. Because if you create a new spell, you don't only create a new rune, you also have to figure out what magical component you need for this spell.
Have we gotten to magical components, or is that next?
We don't go into close detail for magical components because the level of magic you learn in this class is so little that you barely have to think about magical components.
Okay. Question. I do have a question. So,
yes.
How visible and loud or /loud do runes and spells languages need to be?
Oh, you could write a rune in the sand, and if it's written correctly and not like butchered completely by the fact you've written it in sand, it still works. The sand maybe not be a good ground to use for it, and you also don't have to scream a rune, as long as it need the speaking has like like when you speak your body like your vocal cords vibrate. The vibration of your vocal cords is what necessary. So you could whisper a spell and it still works. You don't have to scream a spell.
Yes, you can take a small scrap of the Death Note, put it inside a bag of potato chips, and write somebody's name on it while you're being recorded.
Yes.
Well, the things I'm wondering about, so I can't just mime the words. I have to say them, but how loud and quiet I say them doesn't matter.
Yes, you have to vocally.
If you're intending to use the spoken spell, you need to speak.
Yes.
All right. So let's say the written, like the runes.
Yeah.
Can I use like the oils on my finger to write out the spell? Like there is still something physically there, but you can't see it. Or does it have to be within the visual spectrum?
What you use?
Take lemon juice, for example.
That would be a desperation move and very risky, but possible.
Yes. Also, like what people do if they want to write, if they don't have the needs to write a rune, you could just have a little bit of magic energy in the tip of your wand or the tip of your finger and write the rune in the air, the very faint trace of magic would be enough that and would linger long enough to use it as a rune. But you know, like, you need to be a skilled mage to do that, because if you're not skilled enough, you may be writing too slow, meaning part of like the magic that is lingering in the air is evaporating again.
So if someone has enough talent and training for it, could someone like cast the verbal spell in the middle of a conversation?
Yes, that
Like
would be that would be like A rank and A plus rank stuff.
Yeah.
This would be like this is the basis of offensive magic, basically,
Yes.
which you are literally not allowed to do until A rank.
Yes.
You would have to be able to do it without being seen, otherwise it wouldn't be effective offensive magic.
Yeah. Like, that's why, like, you learn here, like, the verbal component to magic, you learn here in theory, but you don't need it. You don't need to say the spell and need the rune. You only need one of the both. Like, you don't need to write the rune and then also say the spell to activate it. It's just like the verbal component is a way of casting instead of writing a rune. But you still need to understand how the rune, or like how the rune looks like, or at least what the rune is made of, to get the to know what you have to say. That's why it's so important to get down the basics before you even try to attempt vocal casting.
So as long as there's a focusing component in the physical world, it doesn't really matter like the way it gets there, just as long as it's there.
Yeah, it needs to be there. It also has to do, like, if you, for example, write the rune onto something, what you are writing it on needs to be able to withstand the amount of magic you have to pour into this rune to activate the spell. Because otherwise, just pouring in the amount of magic, like normal printing paper, is not very good to use for magical casting paper, because when you put magic in, the magic could literally evaporate this the entire like surface, including the rune you're written on, before the spell is completed. Could either cause the spell to not happen at all, but your magic was used, or in worst case scenarios, your spell only half get casted and it backfires on you because the spell doesn't work properly. Because it got cut off before the spell ended, meaning if you want to make like a fireball, but you write fireball on a printing paper, it could end with just the paper being set on fire before you actually made a big enough flame that could be sent into someone's face.
Okay.
So it's also important to know like how durable certain materials are and what materials you should maybe avoid for casting. The spells you learn in this class are easy enough that even printing paper should be able to withstand them normally.
Can the inverse be true? Like, for instance, let's say I write the rune of fireball on a tungsten rod. Well, tungsten doesn't burn to like over 3,000 degrees. Would that just because the fireball can't get hot enough?
It would.
Like, I doubt I would have the mana needed to heat up the tungsten.
It has nothing to do with the heat of the spell. It has to do with like magic is like a really pure energy thing. So you would put a lot of energy into something, even though it may not be able to burn completely, it could still shatter under the amount of mana that flows through it. So
so the material you use determines the size and the power of the fireball. Correct?
No, the magic you put in, it determines the power of the fireball. If you use a rune instead of a verbal component to cast the fireball, you need to make sure that the the material you write the rune on, if you not write it with magic directly in the air, is resistant enough to at least last as long until the spell is complete casting. If it evaporates right after the spell is done casting, it's fine. There is specifically made magical casting paper that was made out of trees that have already a high magical tolerance, and this type of paper can withstand like a higher flow of magic. So this is usually what you get if you want to write spells onto sheet of paper, so you have the spells ready to go. Like, there are casters that have, for example, just a pouch with like a bunch of spells inside. You would not have a spell book in front of you because it could damage the entire book if you just cast from the book pages. People seem to use that in the past, but there were too many burning hand incidents, so people stopped using that. But there's still some old school people that have magical books with just pages and pages of runes.
Sunny, let's put it this way. If you try to fuck with a spell, it'll fuck with you back.
Yeah.
You're gonna fuck it up.
I don't.
So if you're
know
purposely trying to break a spell by using a combustion spell on something that's inflammable, you're gonna fuck it up because your intent was something fucked up.
Okay.
Your intent was to break the spell, so you're going to get a broken spell.
My
If
intent
you're
was
not logically
how-
using it.
My intent is to determine how much a thing can hold the magic. Like I said, tungsten is very flame resistant. But the answer to the question was, it doesn't need to be flame resistant, it just needs to be able to hold in the magic.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
brings up to my question. Another question. Are there things that are resistant to magic or nullify magic?
Not really.
Materials that do the exact opposite. Instead of absorbing magic, it disperses it.
Like magical stones have like a very big give and take, because magical stones can be easily charged with magic. People did succeed already in tries to have magical stones, like empty magical stones absorb magic. But like this is like a technical thing that you usually discuss with people that, you know, learn the craft. You could make when you make magical barriers, you usually use either stone for very simple magical barriers, but you often use crystal. The element crystal has like the effect to either reflect or to a certain degree absorb magic and just like catalyze it down to the ground or to the air where it cannot do any harm anymore. So that is what happens there. There is kind of a counterpart to absorb or block magic, but like it's a very technical thing. It's not just a magical thing. So magic stones are commonly used for like barriers that should keep magic in. There are also magical blocking spells that are like put on prisoners so that, you know, prisoners don't break out, but that they also have to do with magitech.
Well, in the same vein of disrupting magic, as it sounds like you need that as you're using your magic to imbue your words, like to cast the spells.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible for someone else to use their own magical words to disrupt what you're saying? Like, I'm in the middle of casting the light spell and I go fa, but then someone goes woo.
It doesn't affect.
And that disrupts the spell.
Nope, it doesn't. Unless you literally misspeak because someone else is speaking over you, it doesn't disrupt the spell. Because the spell originates from you. The magic originates from you. You cannot cast magic with someone else's magical energy. That is also kind of like a book spoiler, because that's like a big thing that someone tried to do. You can only use your own magical energy, meaning you can only if this, like the vocal cords vibration thing. If someone else speaks, your vocal cords don't vibrate, so it cannot use that.
What if someone
Would
very
casting exist?
sophisticated? So what if someone like used a magic spell while you're in the middle of saying a magic spell to change to vibrate your vocal cords into a different syllable?
That is not really happening. Like, unless you intentionally speak something else, because like we both casting, but I cast something different, so you accidentally say the wrong rune, it doesn't affect you. You have to that is like a thing of like concentrating onto yourself. Like, that is also a very big of a practice thing. Like, that's why it's not that common to use just the vocal component. That's why you use usually runes, because runes cannot be affected by someone else casting. As long as you have the rune in front of you, you can cast it. You don't need to know what to say next.
Can you cast runes that you haven't created?
Yes, of course. You could literally buy caster's first rune sheet and just have like a bunch of like magic papers that have different runes on top. It is recommended to learning how to write them yourself instead of just using the printed version, but you can certainly just use any rune. That's how Magitech works. You activate a rune someone else wrote. Also, to mage things, it's not really that mages have magical component pouches. There are different types of magical wands, and the most common type that is used is called a potpourri wand. It is a wand that is a compressed magical component of different varieties, and when you use the wand, the magic will just like take the component that are necessary from that wand, shortening the wand over time. There's literally the job of a magical wand sharpener for one component wands and potpourri wands, because using your wand will wear it down. The only exception are wands that have magical stone wands, and this is a craftsmanship that didn't change for many years. Like, it is not industrialized. You will go to like a wand smith of your trust to get a wand like this made for you. It's not just like that you can buy it in any store. You go somewhere, you pay a big amount of money for them, but those wands last very long. But usually you only get wands like that at high B rank with the intent to go A rank. If you're B rank and have a very magic focused job, or A rank and A plus rank use those kinds of wands. Because
I have a question about that.
Of course.
Are wands like a cultural thing, or is that like an everything? Like, say, instead of a wand, I want to use fetishes or a
what?
component pouch.
Oh,
fetish, the little.
What is a fetish? Yeah. I only know fetishes as kinks.
Oh no, fetish. It's like a tribal religious thing. It's like I succeeded in killing a bear. Here's his tooth all decorated.
Oh, okay,
okay. Or it's like charms. It's also like
charms are a thing. Okay. Charms are also a thing.
So is it
you can use charms, you can use staffs.
This wands are the cultural thing of the area we're in.
No.
Yeah,
wands
our area would mainly have wands. Other areas could have things like staffs, but like
it's
like
the
they
modern
would still
age.
resemble wands.
Yeah, like wands are. So there are multiple reasons why wands are used. So first of all, you could only use your hands. But wands, because they're like pointy at the top, is very easy to direct magic. Like, it's very easy to point at things or direct things or even write in the air with magic with a wand. Because one, it is not heavy. Two, it is easy to store away and constantly have on you. Because as an active mage, you should have your wand always with you. If you have a giant staff, yes, the staff probably lasts longer, but the staff is also tall. It's probably heavy. It needs to be out of magical wood, like trees that have magical components, like a 1,000-year-old oak tree kind of wood. So they're very heavy, and they can be very inconvenient in day-to-day life. There are also things like charms. Like good luck charms are very much a thing. You would not use the good luck charm to cast magic, but you would cast magic onto a charm that has a constant magical effect. You could use like a bear tooth, but the bear tooth would not last long for casting, because bears are not very magical creatures, so using it for magic would wear down the tooth very quickly. That's why wands are used. It was the most effective way that was developed over years and generations all over the world, and most cultures just agreed on that wands are just it's like similar to how pens look nowadays. We could still use feather and quill.
I think Sunny's focusing on what can happen, and Maho's focusing on what does happen. So, Sunny, the answer to your question is yes, but no. It can use other things, but wands are just the most convenient and pretty much a worldwide phenomena.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to do with
everything involves the crabs.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to do with this culture specifically, but like in most countries you would get a wand if you do magic. You have wand. There are wand stores.
But I'm assuming like the culture shapes how the wand looks. Like some might be more square, some might be more round, some might be more chunky, might be longer.
Yeah.
Culture, brand, manufacturer, yes, definitely. Yeah. We live in a modern age. There definitely is a wand rivalry between like the 4 big companies, you know?
Yeah.
And then you've just got your little local game shop who sells custom-made wands.
Yes. There are wandsmiths who make, as I mentioned before, make the mana crystal wands. Those are have no big company managed to replace this because they could not mass produce those type of wands. They need a lot of like year-long trained craftsmanship to properly made so that they have the durability you need. So like a factory cannot reproduce this level of craftsmanship. It's like Japanese like handcrafted knives. Like you can get like a normal knife from the store, but the Japanese knife is probably way sharper and lasts longer.
This may be this is a world question more or less, but how popular are like acrylic nails like you can cast like very simple spells through? Like you dip it in your coffee to sweeten it.
That would you mean like you have like nails with rune engraved on them so you can cast like pre-prepared
little nail
spells?
Wands. Yeah, little nail wands.
Like it's like you could just stick your finger into your coffee and cast a sweetening spell on it. You don't need like special nails for that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like fashion-wise.
No, Maho, I think you're misunderstanding. That's cool and hot. Don't say no.
Okay. Okay. So, but with the danger of
do you not want magical like painted nails?
Okay.
Do you not want to slay?
Okay. So there are compromise. There are people that write runes on like maybe not acrylic but like like fake nails. On your own nails it's very dangerous. Don't do that. Like have like some layer of protection above it. Those spells you can maybe cast once or twice, then the rune is completely gone and like phrased down by just letting magic flowing through. There would not be acrylic because acrylic would probably have like this faintly burnt smell the moment you cast it. You don't want to stick something that smells like burnt plastic into your coffee cup.
And not actually because they're good at spells. They're a status symbol.
Oh yeah, if
That's why you
That
went
is
and
great.
spent 400
you
pounds
you
to get your nails
okay,
done
okay,
with
like-
magic runes.
Oh yeah, you can get your nails done with magic runes. Like you can also get magic rune tattoos. It's just like not advised to constantly cast with those things. If you just do it for looking pretty, you can do that. It doesn't have an effect unless you actually cast with that rune on your fingernail.
That would be an example of there are a lot of big wand makers and then like even more small artisanal wand makers. Like you'd have a local game shop wand maker. The local game shop wand maker would do the fucking acrylic nails. That'd be like a fad, you know?
Exactly.
What materials tend to work best with magical current? Natural or man-made?
Magical, so mostly natural. That you can enhance natural things with man-made power to make them even more receptive. But nature proven so far being able to produce the best magical things that you use, because what the material needs is that it is capable to withstand magic, and those things are usually things that already had an affinity to magic, like unicorn horns, for example. Unicorns are magical creatures. We are not going over the magical creatures now, maybe later in the Q&A section, but like unicorns shed their horn once a year, and this shedded horn is used to make magical wands and stuff, because unicorns have a high affinity to magic, so their horns also have this, so they can withstand magic for a pretty long time. One component ones usually have like unicorn in it, or like are made out of like unicorn horn material. But those are like the fancy one component ones that you use. Like the usual one component ones are just made out of magical trees that just like are general just normal trees with but they can just withstand magic better because they had like a level of magic in themselves. There's a bunch of like tree and flower kinds that just like are better in withstanding magic. Those materials are also often used as spell components and for potion making. I hope that answered your question. Do
yes,
we want to go to the do we want to go to the quiz so you guys can like go to the Q&A section so you can continue asking me things?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I got many questions.
Okay. Pop quiz time! Everyone that watches this on YouTube, feel free to pause the video at any point in time if you need more time to see it. We will go for every question separately so you don't have too much quiet time. I also wish everyone in chat who wants to participate in this a lot of fun. Don't be too worried if you got it wrong. Again, like, this is a Magic 101. Question number 1. What spell is this?
Don't be too worried if you get it wrong. We're only shooting the participants on stage.
Yes. This is the rune. Is it A, an enhanced plant scent, B, the spell for thunder, or C, the reduce spiciness spell?
How do you want us to answer?
Please write your answers in the Discord chat. And when you're done. And yes, Eden, the spell you wrote there seemed to be correct. It is a funky way to write it, but very much correct. And if you,
you know what it does?
I haven't. I was about to say, please send the answer when, like, say ready when you're done, so we can all send at the same time, so you don't influence the other people.
How about we DM you the answer?
That would be 3 DMs I would have to check consistently. Just say just say finished, and when all 3 of you said finished, you just all press send.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm ready.
Give
Sunny
me an
start.
hour. I need to go and find it on
And
my
it-
desk. I haven't even started yet. I'm the good student.
Amy, you're the co-writer. You're supposed to be the one that stares and is like, oh yeah, I listened to my whole explanation. This is super easy.
Yeah, but I dropped my pen and was trying to find it during like.
You
the
don't
entire
need a
time you were
pen!
setting it up.
You don't need
Yeah,
the pen. It's an A, B, or C
Okay.
question.
Okay, Aho,
Yes.
but you're an artist. If you drop your pen, is that not the most important thing you need to focus on immediately?
Well, how about you put your pen to your pen holder where it belongs to be?
Eat the pen.
It is. Since everybody else has answered, I'll just say the answer. It is Enhanced Plant Set.
That is true.
Now, guys, you can change your answers real quick. Quick, type in the sentence.
Okay. Question number 2. What spell is this? 1 second. Is this spell A, move object? Is this spell B, bring object to life? Or is this spell C, create, turn stone into metal? Remember, say, I'm ready or I'm done when you're done with giving your answers. And also, you feel free to
I'm
use
gonna
the
be ready.
handout
I'm just
sheet.
typing a funny joke.
Also, your
Okay,
handout.
I think I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, Sunny?
I think so.
Okay, then please all send your answers. Everyone except Mitch is correct. It is bring object to life. You would write this.
Okay, Mitch, you're wrong, but you're gay and wrong, so it's fine.
You would write this onto an object to bring it to life.
How
Create
would
life,
you
right.
imbue life onto something?
You can put with the life rune. You can put life into a lifeless object with like creating life with magic. It is an it is an artificial life, but people that created golems that have like a level of emotional comprehension have to take parental rights over that golem and have to take care of it. Creating a mindless working golem, just like a work robot that doesn't think and just does a task, doesn't get human rights. Every life you create with the level of intelligence to understand that it exists and understand what feelings are and can feel feelings, these creatures have to be, first of all, registered. Second of all, you will take over parental rights for that creature that you created, and you have to support this creature if it ever parts ways with you with financial support until it can support itself.
Man, the pet rock industry must be wild.
Next question. Write a rune for plant growth. Now you need your pen and paper. If you're done, just either draw it on your PC and take a screenshot, or just take a photo with it, put it into the messenger, say you're ready, and then we all send it at the same time.
Where's my glove? No. I've done the pin thing, but now with my art glove. Can't do
Artist,
it.
am I right?
Do it without the art glove. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't submit my answer. I have to commit seppuku. There's no
Okay,
point in doing without.
I submitted mine late because I dropped my pen. You can submit yours late because you can't find your art glove.
Hold on, where's Discord? Okay. I think.
Let's see who's ready first.
Here's me.
Well, I've got mine pasted, so it says I'm typing, so it was me.
Okay, Sunny?
Give me a second.
It dunked on. Did you have yours screenshotted, Amy?
Uh-huh. It's ready to press enter on now.
I'm ready.
Okay, then please all send.
See, I was first.
You did it wrong, though.
Okay, Amy is wrong. Sunny, I can argue that Sunny maybe could be right. Eden is correct.
Yeah. You
You-
guys used create instead of grow.
Exactly. You would have created a sprout of a plant instead of making an existing plant grow.
That would have grown the plants.
Grown a different plant.
Okay. Don't worry, Mitch. Don't worry. Okay. Please write the rune for illusion music.
Illusion music. First, I have to figure out what that means. Illusion music.
If all of you struggle, I can give a hint. If only Eden struggles, we let her then learn through the answer.
No, I think
Only
it's
Eden
just
struggles, then fuck you.
I think I was just confused about the wording.
Oh yeah. Let's just say
right.
music is the intent.
Illusion music. Okay.
By the way, for the multiple choice answers, I have on a piece of paper very, very, very small written, but I have written down all the other runes for if you want them later. To prove that they indeed look differently.
I see. Okay, I know why I was confused. I'm less confused now.
Okay.
Where are you allowing bonus points?
Depends what you want a bonus point for.
I'll do
I
bonus
think I'm ready.
that after.
Okay, Sunny's ready. Amy?
Uh-huh.
Okay, Eden?
It doesn't matter if like the placement of the rune because it's like up to subjectivity, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case. Copy paste.
Okay, then
Copy.
please all send. Okay. Amy is Wait, let me reveal it. This is how it's supposed to look like. Amy is wrong. Sunny is right.
I did the literal one, and then I was like, it should have sensation though. Like illusion music is the two components. That would be like just two, but it should be sensation as well.
Yes, because
So I put sensation for bonus points for because it's less like up for interpretation.
Yep, because the every spell
I did
needs
create illusion music.
yeah, you create an illusion music, but you only wanted the sensation of music. You just wanted to hear the music. You didn't want like magical notes or like music being created in the air. You actually wanted to hear music. Also, the general.
I think this comes down to what Eden said at the start of. I need to understand what you mean by illusion music.
Yeah, like the first
This
one.
could create illusory music. Your
Yeah.
one would create the illusion of music.
Yeah, I didn't want it to make it too easy by just say create the illusion of sound, because that would have given it away way easier. So I was just like illusion music. The rest would be by intent. And usually, like I said that before, a spell needs a general manipulation and then a sub-manipulation. So the general manipulation is that you want sound. That you want the sensation of sound. Let's go to question number 5. How do you
Still don't have my outfit.
how do you say the spell cooling? Here I want the vocal thing. And now I asked you guys the question. Do you feel confident enough to know how to write the spell cooling? Or should I give you how the rune looks like and then you just write the text for it?
I think.
I can give you, like, the next click is showing the rune. Do we want to do the first one where I show the rune and then... Oh, no, wait. I cannot do that.
I want to attempt it.
Okay. Then how about this? Everyone that wants to attempt this without looking will not look at the presentation and just, like, writes it down. Like, minimize the
Oh
presentation.
yeah, we can just type it.
Yeah, it's just typing.
Are we not actually saying it, or are we just typing it?
You're just typing in the syllables. Remember the sentence structure I mentioned before, in which order the syllables have to be. The second spell I have to reveal because God knows no one of you is high ranked enough to know how this spell even looks like.
Alright, ready.
Okay.
Not ready. Hold on.
Okay.
Typing is hard. Dyslexia go burr.
Amy, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost. Okay, I won't go for bonus points. I'll just settle for
So, first of
simplified.
all, this is how the rune looks like. And the rune is, goes Selea Shu.
Oh. I did.
Yeah.
What was the Noah?
Okay, you would.
I did ice and then sensation.
You didn't specify what type of sensation you want. That would be like
That's why
that
I-
would feel like that would be the sensation of frostbites.
Damn.
So I was going to add the sub manipulation runes, but I noticed that
I'll be right back. I'll go back.
for the all senses there isn't a word. You just have to type all of them, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that. So I was gonna do sensation, all senses, and ice. Whereas you have done water, touch, and sensation. Why don't you need to do ice?
Air, because air is cooling.
Yeah, air is cooling, ice is freezing.
Oh,
That's why.
I see. Right.
Yeah, I did. I was a bit mean with that. I was trying to understand Mitch's spell right now. So he has the fire exchange, but instead of on the other side exchanging it, he wanted to. I have to scroll up and down because I don't have the sheet open like you guys.
Fire exchange erasure negative.
Yeah, like this
'Cause
could.
I put down as one of mine Farnoe, which is just fire warmth erasure.
Yeah, that could work. Like that does work. But the more common thing is just to use but like you would remove the warmth around it instead of just having a cooling effect, just like, you know, like a cool breeze would feel like on your skin.
Yeah. That's why I put that one in after the slash. Then my first answer was Zekai, which is cooling and rebuild.
Yeah, but would you rebuild
we
the
all-
cooling into?
You're rebuilding, so you're rebuilding the heat. You're changing the number of the heat to be cooling.
Yeah, but that would. So you just.
So that felt like the best alteration rune to use, so I used the cooling and then the fitting alteration rune.
Who would you say got the most right? Because we all got it wrong, but like you can
Yeah.
give part points. Like out of 10.
I'm the most direct on what was asked.
Well, Sonny got the element correct, but like he just like you just made like a small gust of wind that immediately disappeared again, so you didn't got cooled by it. You just got like a fart feeling in your face without the smell.
Yeah, Sonny, you typed out the word for cooling. You didn't actually type out the spell for cooling.
Yeah.
Because there's no manipulation on it.
Yeah. None of you.
Channeled air, but you didn't say what you were doing with it.
Yeah, you channeled
Yes,
air.
remember earlier you asked
I am
how
air.
if a spell finishes early, does it cast?
Hmm.
No, your spell finished early, it didn't cast.
Yeah. Mitch's one kind of works, but it's like very complicated. Like this is like it is kind of correct. Amy's also work, but you need a very specific intent for it. And so the rebuild could work, but it's like it's very hard like to like get it like just with the cooling effect. So you guys, I see the attempt was there, but I knew it was hard to like figure out how the rune looks like and then also figure out how it is. But like that's why I asked you if you want to try it without the rune. The next one you need the rune, because how do you say this spell for fortune telling? There's the rune, because this rune is complicated. Please write it down. Remember the spelling order.
Mm.
I do not remember the spelling order.
I will say it
And
exactly
then
once. It is
sorry.
okay. The main order is the element, the general manipulation, and then sub manipulation.
Oh, sorry, I've lost chat. There we go.
Mitch just passes. It's not too difficult. I made sure that every symbol is easy visible. It's more of getting the order correctly. Also, the explanation what certain elements do can also help with that if you're not sure which element it is.
Oh, okay.
Amy already sent.
I'm getting it.
You got it? Okay.
Well, I'm not done yet, but I am understanding things.
By the way, I will not confirm if
Sorry,
Amy is right or not, so...
I got excited and splooged early. It happens to every woman, I'm sure.
It's a periodic table thing.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it is a periodic table thing. You just need to know how to put them all together.
Oh wait, I forgot a rune. Damn it. The funny thing is, I saw that, and I was like, I must remember to add that at the end. And then I typed out the rest of the rune. And excitedly prematurely fortune told.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay.
I see. I
My
found
one
it.
tells the
Sorry.
future, but only the bad things. It doesn't tell you what you want to hear, it just tells you what happens.
Almost done. I'm gonna put a dash there. The source of readability.
Aw, Eden cares for me to make it readable.
Oh, it's for me, but okay. it's for my brain. Otherwise, I'd
course.
be
Yeah, like,
losing it. Okay.
okay. So, the correct way to say this rune is Bazemi, what all of you got correct. Leia, let's see. Only Amy got Leia correct. Leia is the rune for the for sensation, because you don't want to live through the fortune. You just want to perceive it. And then afterwards you have Sha, what is the visual aspect. I see Eden got the Sha right. Pre. Sunny got the pre correctly. Amy added the pre. Pre is the little C on top that is meaning positive. It could also mean like greater, so it is part of the future. And Tai, what means time. All of you got Tai correct. So Amy got it completely correct. Sunny missed the Sha, and Eden got and
It's
Leia.
separation instead of sensation because of dyslexia.
Completely
Because
fine.
they're right next to each other on the thing, Leia and Noah.
Yes.
And I read separation as sensation.
That
In
is-
other words, I'll kill Magic 101, I die.
you wouldn't die. Like
Dyslexia.
I wouldn't let you cast the spell. I would literally just give you this spell like as a practice to see if you understand it. I would not let this spell, you would actively learn how to do the spell like at B rank, maybe.
So what would my spell have done? If it doesn't if it doesn't give the sensation, but it separates, would it pull you from your destiny?
Not really. Like, Bazemi is crystal, what is usually used for barriers and fortune telling and like, you know, like seeing spells. Like even if you want to like perceive something that's very far away, you would also use crystal. So you would probably try to cast a barrier by accident, but because you didn't have a barrier in mind, it would just have it created kind of like a bubble that immediately bursts because you didn't imagine a bubble to be created. So you spend a lot of magic. You didn't got like a vision of the future, but you also didn't create a barrier that keeps out people. That like this is something. This spell would be okay. You want to stop people from seeing your future, kind of spell. Like you don't want someone to perceive your future or past because it doesn't specify if you want future or past. But you didn't have a mind to shield yourself from fortune telling or from someone looking into your past. So you would have protected yourself for a moment and then didn't know that you wanted to protect yourself. So nothing happened afterwards.
If someone wanted to rewatch the class on like magic cameras, for just a moment I would disappear and then reappear.
Yes, on the magical Zoom call, you just suddenly like popped out of existence and popped back in like right after. If they blinked, they missed it.
Yeah. So
I like
yours
my
would
spell
be-
better.
Yours would be barrier, separation from visual, and time. So it literally would just put a barrier against somebody seeing. You didn't put positive either, so it would just be you
Past
put a
and-
barrier from somebody seeing into your past or future.
Yes. Okay. Question number 7. You're almost done with your quiz. You hear someone say,
Yay!
Vale die. What did they cast?
No matter what, I duck instinctively. Doesn't
Correct.
matter if what they're casting. I'm making sure I'm not hit by it, even if it's a positive spell, because
It's
I don't
fireball.
know their
It's
intent.
gotta be fun.
Okay. For the record, you hear someone say this in the distance. It is not something that is targeted at you. You just hear like someone like across the street casting it. It is not directed at you. You cannot see it right now because you have to walk around the corner of the street to see it, but you hear it. What is being casted? I give points if you can
check
just
it out.
tell me roughly what you think the spell does, or if you just like write down the elements if you really have no clue. The elements and manipulation. Now let me just find a sheet of paper I wrote it down.
I prematurely splooge, but I've used protection this time.
Always use protection, kids.
So what you're saying is, I can cheat.
Okay, Mitch got it wrong because he got the wrong descriptions for it so far.
I know what it is, but I'm gonna be a little shit and say it's gonna be this instead.
Okay. Amy got the meanings correct, but got what the spell does completely wrong. The same goes for Eden. She got the meaning correctly. Sunny got it also wrong. You guys are so cute. This is how the rune would have looked like. And it is a small flame. You created Fa is fire, Le is creation, so you created a flame. And Die is reduced, so you created a small flame.
Okay.
This was a trap. This was a trap.
Negative could
Die.
mean reduce.
Yeah,
Die is negative. I didn't realize that could mean reduce. Okay.
I-
I went with ice ball because the regular heat is cold.
I didn't wrote it down, but I mentioned it during the lecture that
She did.
that Die is not only like negative, it can only mean reduced or smaller or past. It is just the, like one end of a spectrum.
So what you're saying is your spell is I do care how big the room is. I cast lesser fireball.
No, this is literally the spell you would do as a party trick to show that you can light a cigarette with your finger. This is how small this flame. Like you could make it bigger, but like this is like the lighter spell. Like I don't care that I don't have a lighter. I cast magic. The spell.
It
This
be used
is-
as an attack spell?
Nope. You could not even you could
Okay.
maybe put a strain on hair on fire with that.
It could be used as an
Well,
attack
'cause-
spell if your opponent is particularly.
I also
overpowered,
meant-
then the full
I
blast.
also mentioned that the spells that are here are not spells that are using to attack someone. There's no danger with
Yeah,
those spells. And then you all proceeded to say dangerous spells. Like, no, you're not doing dangerous things.
Well,
Negative
could-
doesn't
could
always
you
reduce
also-
it though, right?
Yeah, but
it
could you also
can-
technically? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Also, Sunny, your spell,
Neg-
you would use ice instead of the fire rune.
Yeah. Well, I was being cheeky with
Yeah,
it because you
He
put
did say,
negative.
He did say I'm a be a little shit about this one.
Yeah, don't worry
Because
about it.
it's negative. What is the negative of heat? Cold. Fire. Cold.
Yeah, see,
Also,
that, would
couldn't
be,
you?
that would be the sort of thing where if that's your interpretation of it, if you use that rune to cast it, it might work for you because of your intent.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I
But
was
that
also
would
gonna
absolutely not work in like a magical lighter.
that brings up my question with it. Could this also be the symbol for absorbing heat?
Yes, it could with the intent. No, it cannot because
And
it has the
There's literally
creation.
a rune for
For
There's
absorption.
literally a room for absorption.
Yeah, this would just like you would create a
Or-
negative heat, like that you could like. Can you imagine what negative heat is? Or like a
Cold.
negative flame? A negative flame is not cold. It is the opposite of it, but it's not a negative flame. So like unless you can wrap your head around this and understand what you mean with that, you could cast it, but you cannot absorb heat with it. That is a completely different rune for it. Because you do create a flame with that. Just a negative flame. So unless
The
you
flame that absorbs heat.
it would be a cold, it could maybe create a cold fire, you know, like a flame that is not hot. That is maybe what you can create. But like again, it would not absorb heat.
So Sunny's got his party trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Eden, did you wanted to ask something else? I heard that you were talked over a bit.
I forgot.
Okay. Then let's go to question 8. You hear someone say, Wolfa Leasha. What do they cast?
Oh, hold on, I've lost your server. Where are you? There you are.
You know, you can just go to the image, and when you open it, there in the top right corner, there's like a thing where you can just open the image in a browser. So you can just have a browser
Yeah,
tab open with it.
No. I've got it open in a browser. I literally lost your server to type the answer.
Okay. Then, things. Can you please put some spacing between words? There is spaces. Like a magic spell is supposed to be more or less a pretty long word. Like that's why I made it. I tried to make it easier to read by have like every time a new syllable starts having a big letter instead of a small one, so it's easier to read. You can like put little minuses in between. Also the things I put on the sheet, I've been working like since the day before yesterday on this presentation. Yesterday I was almost until 4 a.m. I just had time to screenshot my my presentation sheets and put them together, but like between every word is at least a space. I love my spaces. Okay. Okay. I like the answer so far.
I forgot how to do that spoil thing.
The two straight lines that is
Yeah,
under
two line separators.
yeah, you know where like the little V, like the sideways laying V is? There's a third symbol on that on
That
that button. Yeah, that one. This line.
Two of those on each side.
Also, everybody else has answered, so you can just type.
Yeah.
Okay.
True. Great.
Okay.
Creates.
So,
Sunny has a very American interpretation of the English language,
okay.
in that it's wrong.
This is how the spell looks like. The intent was that it is a visual illusion, but you are all correct. If you all had this level of intent for the spell, it would work. It would work as like a more of a blinding spell. You could use something that has like a darkness spell would work with that too. If you want to blind someone, Mitch got it correctly with a visual illusion. It would be
I was gonna say, I should point out that Mitch actually nailed your intent.
yeah. So a visual illusion is like depending on the intent, it's just like like minor illusion. You just create a visual illusion. Whatever you create with this illusion cannot make any sounds or touch you. The smoke screen, Amy, would work. You can also just use the fog as a smoke screen. And a fog cloud would also work. You could also just create fog, like just like make the area like very foggy. All of those work with that rune. It is that is like the nice thing about those runes. Even though they're relatively general, with the right intent, you can cast the spell. So you also, like, the intent of the mage can affect how a spell works. There are certain spells that are very straightforward, but like especially illusion spells, often like you cannot be prepared of what illusion they actually give you if you just hear them. Or even if you just see the rune, you can only expect like an illusion to come, but not exactly which one. Yeah, Mitch, you were more correct. Okay, let's go to the last two questions. Question number 9. Which spell is misspelled? Fa-Lea-Sha, Fa-Noi-Sha, or Fa-Shun-Lea?
Do you want us to type our answers again?
Yes. Just type A, B, or C and say ready when you're ready.
I'm actually not going to answer this one because I know the answer. I was in VC with Maha when she made this question.
Yeah.
She literally DM'd me like, is this one too mean? Can you figure it out?
Do you want a reason? Just the answer.
If you want to write the reason, if you want to give the reason, I'm happy to read it. So Amy knows her answer, and we only need Sunny's answer.
I can barely do regular English. Will make me
Just guess.
learn.
Just guess. It's a pop-up quiz. If you don't know the answer, you always pick. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going into Rune at Magic. That's going to be my college major.
Okay. So, the correct answer is. Wait a second. C. Because, as Eden pointed out, the sub-manipulation is before the general manipulation, which is wrong. By the way, the spells from top to bottom are... wait, let me just go in. The first one is light, the second one is the spell darkness, and the third one, if spelled correctly, would be heat. And now to the last question.
What would doing a spell that way do?
The spell goes...
We had a long debate over this last night, and we eventually arrived at it would just not do anything. It would fizzle out. It would go...
Yeah.
The comic Looney Tunes sound effect.
Yeah, but...
I am still campaigning
no,
to blow
out. No. We settled a little bit on something in between, because Amy said she wanted, like, you know, like, spells should be able to backfire. It would, like, create conflict. Would make sense. So, the spell would work until you do it wrong. So, on the moment you start to say the spell wrong, after that the spell doesn't work anymore how it is intended to. If the spell can work until you say it wrong, a certain effect will happen. Because you already messed up at the second part of the spell, you would create probably a small flame or a small puff of smoke, and then it just immediately just like puffs out. Maybe you would see like a little of like starry fizzle, and then it will fizzle out. You have spent all the magic you would need to cast the spell, but you didn't get the effect of the spell. If you have bigger and more complicated spells and higher level, saying a spell like that wrong could cause you to cast half a spell, meaning you get half of the effect. Like a fireball could only be creating a flame, so you just suddenly have your hair on fire by accident, you know. It would not be a fireball, but maybe your opponent suddenly has like hair on fire. It could be worse. Okay, last question. What do you do if you want to cast the spell quickly? A. You pre-write a rune on paper. B. You say the spell. C. Have the spell as a tattoo. D. All of the above. Or E. None of the above. Who the fuck has fast casting? Yeah, Mitch, but what you wrote in chat is an entire sentence and not a word. What with those magic runes is they're not supposed to be a sentence. They're supposed to just make one word. Just the fact that a spell can be very long, and because of that, the word is very long. It's, you know, like the German word Mittelleitplanke. This is one word. Do you hear how long I spoke? Okay, after you made your decision, either like hide it with the little thingies.
Question.
Yes.
What spell?
Doesn't matter.
It kind of does.
Nope.
Oh, I see. He's being a smart
Yeah.
ass and saying that certain spells won't work on paper.
Yes.
No, I thought he was being a smartass and going, well, saying that if I use every spell component, saying it's not going to be quick.
No, because we have established that depending on the material, may not hold the magic. So it really does depend on saying the spell.
I also
On, like,
mentioned.
which
I
spell
also
it-
mentioned there's something
paper,
called
yeah.
spell paper. What is paper? That is still paper. It is just made for spell casting, and I had not enough room to specify what paper I want. So nice try being a smartass, but no. In whatever case it would be, you would use the type of paper that would be usable for that spell.
Same with the tattoo.
Translation. Just answer the fucking question.
Yeah.
Yes, the same with the tattoo.
Okay.
But like human bodies are just naturally like pliable and very conductive to magic. So like you could put most spells as a tattoo, I'd imagine, and it wouldn't like do any damage.
Yeah, there are.
Unless the spell is literally want to like do damage.
I will explain that after you all answered. Okay. Oh, okay.
That's
So-
not.
Hey, that gif is amazing. I can hear it.
Okay. So,
E.
so, Amy and Eden are correct. It is the
Yeah, I have author privilege in that I've literally made a character who fucking does these.
Yeah. The fun fact is Amy wrote the character and I wrote at the same time about like spell tattoos, and we were not talking to each other about this. We were just like discovering that we both made this. So now to the explanation. You can do C, you can make spell tattoos. Over usage of that tattoo can damage your skin. It will leave marks that are similar to burn marks on your skin because you constantly redirect magic on this specific part of your body.
That's why I said it's not advisable.
Exactly. It is not like you
Like
simple spells
soldiers, for example, would have like magical tattoos.
with
Because
like
it would be
shielding.
something they need to cast often, and they would cast like shield. They would cast like projectiles.
Yeah, so like
It would just be a much easier way in the midst of combat to fight.
yes.
But it's not something that like you would do regularly because fighting isn't expected.
That's why I said it was the quickly. I was focused on the cast a spell quickly.
Yes.
Not cast the spell the best.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, it was like, what do you do if you want to cast a spell quickly? If you want to cast a spell quickly, you either have the spell pre-written on a piece of paper, so you literally just have to use the piece of paper and put, take it in your hand, guide magic through your hand into the paper and activate the spell. Say the spell, that's why the vocal spell components are a thing, because you can faster speak than you can write a spell, and having it tattooed is the same as having it pre-written.
The much more common way of casting spells is to use the runes. The vocal is for people who are in a hurry.
Yeah, and you're usually only in a hurry when you're like having to deal with offense
So this
magic.
is the. Okay, so this is the who. What was the first Pokemon question? I got you.
Yeah, like they're all correct. They're all pretty fast. Like if you have like
This
already.
wasn't all of the above.
Okay.
Funny thing is, literally, I said to Maho, like, as soon as you write all of the above in there, nobody's gonna get this question wrong. I did not anticipate the level of little shittery that Sunny would bring.
Technically, I am correcting. That's the best type of correct.
Technically.
Like if you need to get a spell out, having something that's right there on your body is the best way to get the spell out.
Yeah, but it didn't say what is the quickest. It said
Quickly.
what
The quickest
ways
way-
are to
yeah.
do it quickly. No, it didn't say. It specifically didn't say what is the quickest. It said what ways can you
To
do it
cast the
quickly,
spell quickly.
in which
Yeah.
all of them are correct.
Yeah, all of them.
Uh-huh.
All
Yeah,
of them.
and the first
But you're
Pokemon
wrong.
was Bulbasaur. Yeah, and the first Pokemon was Bulbasaur. Gotcha.
This exact debate here is why I hate all of the above questions. Because this
Yeah.
happens every time. You're like, actually, the A is correct. Just because D is also correct, A is included in it, therefore it's correct.
So, Sunny is partially correct. Mitch
I'm
is
technically
sadly
correct.
The best kind of correct.
okay.
I accept that's not the answer you. That is not the full correct answer, but it's technically correct, and that's what I down that
You
hill.
are technically correct, but you would have failed this exam.
Yes.
Yes, but I would have
It's
succeeded in my.
correct.
But I could live with myself, and that's all that matters.
You would have successfully learned the course material, but you would have had to resit the exam, you little shit.
Well, if he only has one of the questions wrong, he would probably still get his D rank at the
It's-
end.
If
Yeah,
you're
I
asked
think it's very-
what are the
I think it's
ingredients to a
very-
dish, if you are asked what ingredients go in a stir fry, and you only say corn, you're wrong. You can't make a stir fry with just corn.
Not with that
But it
attitude.
is shit.
wrong. Then it's not a stir fry. It's just fried corn.
Yeah, but
Okay.
did you stir it?
Yeah.
No.
And is it fried?
Wait, no,
You know,
why am I
I'm
so
gonna go-
sunny?
Guys,
I'm
guys,
gonna go-
guys,
Go
guys,
get
guys,
corn on the cob. I'm going to fry it, and I'm going to stir it in the
guys.
Alright, Sunny, don't-
pot. Yes, piss off Eden.
If I say guys, you shut up, okay? I'm the teacher here. If the teacher speaks, the students are quiet, right? So to settle this
Pull
debate,
out the witness.
just fried corn is probably popcorn, and we will settle it with that. Sunny was partially right, but he was a little piss baby about it. So no gold star for Sunny. We are at the
Guys,
Q.
is popcorn a stir fry?
I would say so. You fry
I mean,
corn.
the ocean is a soup.
Yeah, the ocean is a soup.
So, for your D rank magical exam, is a hot dog a sandwich?
If you make a cake, but you
No, a hot
only
dog
use
is
egg,
a,
you get a
taco.
fried egg, not a cake.
Yes,
Stir fry was a worse example. You
it's
can't
fine.
make a cake with only an egg.
It's fine. It's fine. It's like the question, what if this is a bird? And then I list 3 birds, and one answer is all of the above. You can still say that a pigeon is a bird, even though it's very much a government drone. And you could be, and you would be kind of correct, but because all of them are birds, you should have answered all of the above, because all of the above are indeed birds. So just taking one of them is just like, I would maybe give you half a point if you give me if you've written underneath a long explanation why you think the tattoo is the fastest way. And if that explanation would have been correct, I would have given you like your point.
I mean,
but only
I'll
then.
fight you about it later if you want, but yeah.
I mean, honestly, the actually is probably the sort of thing that would get you the grade. If you were to receive your paper and then afterwards be like, excuse me, Professor, can we talk about this? You debating it displays your understanding of the principles and you'd get the point.
Yeah. Like, unless
It'd be
you're
an
wrong.
unconventional way of doing it, and it'd take you an extra hour to get the point, but you get the points.
Yeah. Also, like, your magical exams are, thank God, not 100 or nothing exams. If you take your exams, for D rank, it is just a written exam at the end. So if you get the certain amount of points, you get your D rank, even though the person that gives you the D rank is highly advising you to take other magical classes before pursuing any form of other magic. But you're allowed to have a D rank. And a lot of like the higher levels of magical licenses, you also have sometimes multiple written exams plus practice exams that you have to all have to pass to get your license. If you don't get it, you have to either repeat the exam or even repeat the entire course if you really need help with it. It's similar to
you
college.
Would not sit your exam
No, it's similar to university. Like you write your exams and you either pass or you have to repeat them or repeat the semester. And that is the thing. Like most of magic and magic schooling that happens in a magical academy, and in magical academy it's just the magical equivalent to university. You can go to law school or you can go to an academy if you want to go very deep into contract law. And instead of being the lawyer that sits next to people that make a magical contract, you can either like study how magical contracts work and how things are going with the magic aspect in mind instead of the law aspect of mind, to making it fair for both parties. So, we are at the Q&A time. Now you can ask all your world building questions that you have. I don't know how long the first segment of the stream was before my PC crashed. Someone would have to check that for me for like how long the YouTube video, how long that VOD was, but we are at 1 hour.
According to the new time thing they have on Discord, it's been 3 hours and 49 minutes.
Okay. I will... Wait, 3 hour 49?
Yeah, it's been almost 4 hours since we started.
Okay.
But like, since you were in the VC.
You went live at 20 past. We have been live collectively for 4 hours.
Okay.
Wait, 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay. I will give you all the chance to ask questions for hopefully half an hour, maximum 1 hour. After 1 hour, I will cup it because then it will, be too long. I will just open this. Amy and I have a Discord server for this novel, and so I have this now open. So if I take a moment and there's a chance, I just have to read what we wrote down. You can ask about the main religion, for example, that happens. You can ask a little bit about the world. We don't have too many country names yet. We only have the country name and the city name of the for the first book, because we haven't built a world map yet. That is like something that we're doing more or less like in the next couple weeks. We have a political system that Amy built. We can go more into depth what generational curses are. There's like we can get more into depth with magical.
Amy was in charge of the politics.
Yeah, so I don't have to write it, okay? Like I wrote the main religion that is like the main religion on this continent. So I left Amy with the other thing that is tedious to do, politics. You can ask about magical creatures, you can get more into depth about the spirits and what there are. You can go into ask detailed question about lifespans, etc., etc. Like, feel free to ask. We probably have an answer, and if Amy and I answer differently, it means we haven't answered like
It
directly.
means we're gonna fight later.
Yeah.
No. I have questions. I have many.
Okay. Eden, do you also have many questions? Do we want to make it that Sunny can ask the question and you can ask the question, so Sunny has time to shut up in the middle?
Ooh, teacher, pick me.
Okay.
Pick me right now.
Eden.
Yes, the zombie in the
Is it
front
like-
row.
Is it lunchtime yet?
You may eat a snack now, but please don't disrupt the class while doing so.
Yeah, we're
Ah.
the fun teacher. You can eat snacks, just not anything like in a bag that rustles. Don't disturb the other students, but you can have a snack.
I wish I would have had teachers that let me eat during lessons. Some lessons, like, I had literally lessons where like half an hour before break, my stomach would rumble so loud that the entire class heard it, and I just wanted to sink into the floor because I was just hungry and distracted. Like, just like one snack would have been enough to keep my attention up for the last half an hour.
I get in trouble if I cast the spell to create a greasy kebab.
Well, if you grease, as long as you don't grease on your bank neighbor's work materials, feel free. If it makes sloppy noise, you have to cast a silence spell around yourself.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Sunny, go on. Give me your first
All
question. What are you interested in?
So I'm gonna start off easy.
Okay.
What are the religions of this world?
Okay, so we have a main religion, and I wrote that thing. Let me go through. How many Discord messages did I send? 1 Discord message, 2 Discord messages, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'd sick in total 16 messages that are just about the main religion. The main religion is called Marcelism. It is based on Marcellus, the god of magic. The people that believe in this religion are called Marcellas. And the holy book that they're like referring to is called the script. It's not just script, it's the script. It includes stories about the birth of magic, how humans acquired magic, the legend of the 12 saints, and stories about ancient magic and curses. I wrote the story how this religion believes magic was created. I wrote a story on how the gift of magic was given to humankind. The 12 saints are important because this world has also zodiac signs, but they are based on the 12 saints. So there are different animals instead of the ones we have here. Like, we don't have Scorpio, but like we have the zodiac of the bunny. Because every month has exactly 30 days. Like, every zodiac sign is assigned to 1 month. So January is the month of the bunny, February is the month of the cow, etc., etc. I wrote all short stories for every saint and why they are a saint. This religion, like, especially like the part of the saints, have to do with the Century of Darkness. Century of Darkness was a war that broke out between empath spirits and elemental spirits. Because those creatures are way stronger than humans, their fight lasted for exactly 100 years, and while fighting with each other, they destroyed the earth almost completely and almost made humankind go extinct. Like, they kicked back human civilization almost back into the Stone Age. I can go into detail later why those two actually fought with each other, but after the Century of Darkness was over, it was said that 12 saints appeared, and in the time span of 1 year, they helped civilization to slowly build up again. And because those saints were said to be religious people, they are connected to the god of magic. This is the main religion of this continent we are on. Like, a lot of people believe into this religion because, like, first of all, after the Century of Darkness, the saints that went around didn't just like went around in one country. It technically also didn't only go for 1 year, but like, you know how stories are going. It was said that it happened in 1 year, but it happened like over decades. There were those people that went around that believed in the god of magic and helped people rebuild entire cities. Helped them, gave them rituals that they can follow. And those rituals like turned into holidays that are still celebrated in those countries, and not only celebrated by religious people. There is, in the country we are in right now, is like a smaller religion. It is similar to the Shinto religion, where the werebeasts are cursed by a generational curse, and this curse was based on the 12 saints and the animals they represent. So those werebeasts started to worship those saints as gods, and took like the stories of those saints and just like over like generation changed them up a little bit to make them more godlike. It's similar that like Jesus is a prophet in other religion and not the son of God. But this religion is only in this in the country Ostport. That is the country this book takes place. Future books will take place in other countries, but Ostport is the only country that has this generational curse. The generational curse happened in Ostport, and so only like most people that were born somewhere in Ostport still live there, or like some werebeasts maybe moved into other countries, but they didn't brought their religion there because they were a very big minority. So this form of religion only exists exclusively in Ostport. It is not suppressed. Those people are free to live out their religion. However, like some people do misuse their religion, and some people don't. We all know how religious fanatics are. It's not seen as a cult because it is rooted in like a history, and they're not suppressing their members. But there is proof of misusage of this religion to get own gain.
It's not seen as a cult, but my character's mother is one of the heads of her branch of the religion, and is trying to recreate the birth of the Messiah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there is someone who wants to turn this... Shit. Yeah, like, there's someone who literally tries to turn this religion into a cult. And she's certainly... Like, the fact that she's also coming from money is not helping. Does it answer your question, Sunny? I haven't written any other religions yet because I haven't come to other countries yet that are on different continents to focus on what they may believe.
That was the basis of a lot of the questions I had. So yes.
Yeah.
Eden?
So we made like one or two religions, and we'll make other ones as we make characters that require them, basically. Sorry, you can carry on.
Can you do group casting?
Yes.
Can you cast with friends?
Yes.
Is there like...
That is called
that
ritual.
you say...
This is called ritual
the same
casting.
spell at the same time.
Yes.
You know?
This is usually done in a ritual form. Ritual casting is indeed a thing. Especially like bigger barrier spells are usually more ritual casts instead of just like a normal spell. It often requires more mages to do so, these mages have to either stand inside of a big magical rune that had to be written on the floor over like the span of where, for example, the barrier needs to be. Smaller spells can, for example, also be casted by holding hands together, because that way you allow the magic to flow through all people included to cast this form of magic. It doesn't need to be hand holding, you just need to hold the body part, but like we would go out of the PG-13 area of what type of body part you need to hold to cast a spell.
This actually is something that we pre-planned, because the second book is going to mostly revolve around getting together a group of casters who are able to cast a huge spell to overthrow a king.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be fair, the second spell that I made and sent to the chat was a masturbation spell. So.
I was going to ask, that actually gave me an idea to ask this question. What are the dragons in this world?
Oh, dragon are highly intelligent.
No, what are the dragons? The great big thing that you overcome.
This is a world of science and magic. You usually don't overcome just like a single creature. Dragons are a thing in this world. And dragons are with the spirits, the most powerful magical creatures that live in this world. Magic is that I could imagine on the side. If you have a high level of magic, it extends your lifespan. Like, it makes you like extremely long living. You age slower. Like, after you reach adulthood and you have a high level of magic, and because like you start to like actually increase your magic level after you reach adulthood, because then your body stopped growing, but you can still grow the your mana level. So if you have a lot of magic in your body, you can certainly extend your life. But dragons and spirits, who are like mostly made out of magic, can live a couple thousand of years. Dragons started to give a fuck about humans for a long time ago, so you sometimes see them, and as long as you don't piss them off, they will not start to burn your city down. There's like military forces can like protect the city from like a dragon attack, but dragons are very secluded living creatures that don't really give a fuck. Spirits made more or less a deal with each other because empath spirits are born from like wild flowing magic and strong emotions. So since humankind like started to like become the humankind we know today, you know, like thinking beings that have like a big variety of emotions, empath spirits got way stronger because they didn't just got born out of like animalistic instincts, but like actual like feelings, and they got like a bigger variety. Elemental spirits are still born from like elemental sources, clean water, trees, volcanoes, blah 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 blah. So the Century of Darkness happened because humans didn't really know how to do magic, so they entered the industrial age and started to destroy the planet, pissing off the elemental spirits. And the empath spirits were like, no, don't harm them, we need them. And the elemental spirits were, no, they harm us, fuck them. So those two started to fight, and they are so like this level of like
I'm sorry, but what were the dragons doing in all this?
They were not giving dragons are like very like secluded living creatures, so they were living in mountains that were not touched yet, so they were mostly not giving a fuck about this.
So they're like the elemental spirits top dogs.
Yeah, like as long as you don't aggravate a dragon, it will probably not have a problem with you. So because humans, like, they reached the industrial age, but they didn't reach, you know, like every like secluded area where dragons were breeding And humans learned very quickly to not mess with dragons because they literally stomp you down. And at this time, humans didn't have the magical knowledge to protect themselves from dragon. So what do you do to survive? You avoid the dragons that just like could destroy your city. They didn't have the weapons developed yet to deal with dragons, and not the way to defend themselves. So they were just like trying to like develop themselves. But through the development, they're already pissed off the spirits. Like the dragons were not pissed off yet, the spirits however were. So they started a war with each other, and they're on such a different level of strength that humans had no way to protect or fight against that. They just had to watch this war happen and had to just live with that their cities got destroyed in the process, that the forests were burned down, that lakes were dried up. Like this war like had also a lot of damage, and because this war damaged both parties and the energy source they live from so much, both spirit races agreed on peace under the requirement that one, you leave the humans alone, but spirits are allowed to interfere to stop humans from destroying nature to the point that it cannot like regenerate itself. In exchange, like they kind of like, some of them started to teach humans like how to use magic and other forms of energy. They were like, like silently guiding humankind to like build themselves up again from like they were from the industrial age pushed back into a state that would be the medieval times. So they started helping them build up again, and agreed to not do anything that would be harmful for the spirit reputation. So spirits are kind of allowed to break human laws because human cannot enforce laws on spirits. But if whatever they do has like a negative effect on like the perception of spirits, the spirits will punish this spirit in their own realm accordingly. So if you go around as a spirit and mass murder 20 kids, human law will not get you, but spirit law will get you, because now suddenly no human wants to listen to a spirit anymore. And they need humans to listen to coexist peacefully. So now they don't really have a big thing that they have to overcome except for like politic reasons. Some countries don't like each other.
Okay.
Some countries do like each other. Some countries want to develop like a way to break curses finally. Some countries think like, what the fuck, we like our generational curse, please don't touch it.
So not really any dragons, not really any dragon slayers.
There were intent of dragon slayers in the past. Those people all died and went into histories as the greatest idiots of all time. Because why would you challenge alone a ginormous dragon that could literally stomp you into the ground with just 1 foot?
Yeah, the dragons aren't currently a threat, but they are a danger.
Yeah, they're still a danger, but they're also like highly protected by animal services. Like they try to take they try to stay in contact, keep tab on where dragons live, where they have their nestings. Like the believers of Masala, like the god of magic, they see dragons as like a sign of God is watching over you. Like it is a rare occurrence, but it can happen that you just see a dragon fly over a city. You see that. And those people that believe in this religion see that as a good sign that God is watching over them, because there's a legend that one of the first mortal vessels that God had was a dragon, and because this was the first form that this god took, he blessed this dragon and all of its descendants with almost immortality. That's why dragons live so long. You can literally meet a dragon that your great grandma saw
But dragons have no real agency in the world. They don't collect gold or steal princesses. They just sit in the mountains.
They
I have
are.
no desire to collect gold or steal princesses. It's more of a case of like, hey, I could land in the middle of that crowded city and take it over. It would be not a problem. But the humans would poke me with sticks the whole time, so I'm just gonna go back to my fucking cave.
Dragons are also highly intelligent creatures, but they're also kind of lazy. So like they can do great things, but like if they want entertainment, they could just watch humans, or they could be in contact with the spirits. What like they behave as if they just have like their animalistic instinct of just like procreate and spend time with their descendants maybe. Some dragons talk with humans. Like if a human encounters a dragon, some dragons learn the human language just to talk to them, but not because they're interested in them per se, but just because they're bored. Like if you live really long, like you maybe just talk to some humans. Like even dragons are even capable of casting magic. Like they made.
I thought dragons were elementals.
No. Elementals can also cast magic.
I'm confused.
No, dragons are magical creatures. Highly intelligent
Okay.
magical creatures. Spirits are also magical creatures of the high intelligence class. The only difference is that spirits are made out of 100% magic, while dragons still have like a more physical form.
Okay, I got you.
It still means spirits can still like appear in front of you and touch you and interact with things. It's just they can choose not to. The thing that no one else except spirits can. They are also living creatures, so they can also die. It's not that they're spirits because they're ghosts. It's more of a, oh yeah, like there's like a... The other term you would use for elemental spirits is fairy or fae. And empath spirits are also called daemons. So like they have different names. I just like to call them spirits because initially they're just like two sides of the same coin kind of creatures. They're also absolutely look down on humans. Like you will not find a spirit that not think that humans are absolutely stupid and puny little things.
Yeah, but in their defense, we are.
Yeah, we are. Like they have the right to have such a big ego because they are just generally more intelligent and stronger than a human probably can ever be in one lifetime. But they don't have to rub it in our face. They still do so. Eden, do you
With
have...
enough magic power, could someone become a spirit?
Nope, because you still have a fleshly body.
Yeah, but if you changed that flesh body into that of the spirit, like if you cast the right spell.
There's no really a right spell to just like dispose of your fleshly body to turn it in completely magical. There were experiments run to make like artificial spirits. They didn't end well for no one because those types of experiments to actually test it requires human experimentation, what is highly illegal.
So, what you're saying is they just haven't been as good as me before. So I could do it. They just all failed.
You could like research it and try it, but like only try on yourself. But like the chances of you die after the first try is higher than you ever succeeding in your lifetime.
A highly unorthodox display of hubris, but very well.
So the chances are very, 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 very low. But there's still a chance.
Oh, there's a chance for almost...
Never tell me the odds.
There's a chance for, like, everything that hasn't been figured out has a chance for being figured out. Like, there's a chance that curses can be reversed. But that doesn't mean that no one figured it out yet. And, like, a bunch of, like, smart people were trying to figure it out, and no one figured it out yet. So far, it is impossible to reverse curses. It's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely that you can just by accident figure it out. And the same goes for like turning
In other
people
words,
into
I'll figure it out
yes.
because I'm just that good.
Let's just say, very big spoiler, there is a third book planned that has to do with the spirits. And oh, also very important thing, magical creatures and humans cannot procreate. So spirits cannot procreate with humans. Dragons cannot procreate with humans, even if they can turn their dragon form into a human form with disguise magic. Also
Sorry, bots.
Also, spirits, even if they can have the organs for procreation by choice, like spirits can literally just choose to have those procreative organs just to have fun time. But they're completely infunctional. So also spirits are not born by, the process of like sleeping with each other and creating a baby. Spirits are born from the energy source that gives birth to them. So spirits are usually, if they want to be parents, they just go somewhere where spirits are usually born. Like, for example, elemental spirits would go to a lake, and just like when a new spirit is born there, they would just adopt it as their own and would teach it everything it needs to know. It's like they also don't really marry, they just entwine their fate with each other to promise entwine their magic a little bit to promise to stay together, but they don't have really the concept of marriage and marital rights. And the same like goes for birth. Like, they understand what birth is, they understand how humans procreate, they think like humans are a bit weird for that, but whatever.
This does all sound like propaganda from a spirit playboy who's like, no, don't worry, babe, we don't do marriage here. Also, there's no way I can get you pregnant.
Well, he cannot get...
Yeah, you want to receive my blessing?
Spirits, elemental spirits are usually, creatures that don't specifically showcase a certain gender. They can choose to, but they're usually very androgynous. Empath spirits prefer to represent the gender, but they can literally change it at will. They can literally say, tomorrow I want the coochie, but today I want the wiener, and it's completely fine. Because their body is made out of magic, so their body is changeable. Or they can just have nothing down there because they also don't need to pee and poop. They don't really need to do all of those things. In a spirit realm, there's like no bathroom.
In the spirit realm, nobody can hear you pee.
They do consume food, but they don't have to. Like, they consume food to get the magic aspect out of the food instead of like cooking. But a lot of spirits like stay in the human realm because they just like to like human cuisine. They get no benefit from eating. They just enjoy it.
I thought you
said
said that.
I like apples.
I thought you said that you don't gain magical energy through food.
Yeah, but spirits are something else. Spirits are made out of magic. So if they consume something, they like whatever they eat, they just like everything that they just consume will just like get like eradicated by the magic in their body. And if there was a magic property to whatever they were eating, like an apple, they could easily absorb it because they're made out of magic. Humans don't really know how to absorb the like 2% of magic that are inside of an apple. So when they eat an apple, they don't get the properties of just absorbing it. That's what magical potions make it easier for a human body to absorb the magic. Also, elementals, like, they feast usually on either the element that they represent or the emotion they represent. So you have like, like anxiety empath spirits would be close to like a high school and would absorb the absolute like anxiety and anxiousness that is just like radiating from that place. They would just sit there and just like enjoy the drama because they literally feel like their tummy is full from it. Like that's what I mean. Like they can like get it from food, but they don't really need to. Like elemental spirits more than empath spirits. But empath spirits literally just like a greed empath spirit that is born by the emotion of greed. You know where that would be, where people gamble their money away and stuff. Just enjoying their absorbing the absolute energy of just like one more try, this time I will win, I need the big money.
Aha, the gambling spirit.
My character Aura, her father is a gambling addict and taught her every trick in the book how to cheat in card games. The only downside is she got cursed with bad luck. So now she can now, everything that is decided by chance, she cannot control. She will always get the worst outcome. Coin flip, she will never win in a coin flip unless she has a good luck charm with her. Any other questions?
Okay. I think it's Eden's turn, right?
I think Eden asked about she could turn into a spirit, yes or no thing.
Oh yeah, yes. Okay. So how has the religion and the idea of you don't go out and fight dragons changed the little ticks and rituals of everyday life? For example, goodbye was originally came from God be with you. And like, you know, when you say bless you when you sneeze, that is a very Christian thing. So without the influences of like our religion,
okay,
different from your religion, how does that change the everyday?
Okay, first of all, I introduced a main religion so we can keep a lot of like typical sayings in this from our world in this world, because just for the purpose of we have to write it, so it needs to still sound like normal. So sayings like bless you or goodbye is still a thing there. That's why I made a main religion that is a little bit inspired by Christianity, just so that we can keep those little things to make, because like we cannot invent language new. We have to write this book in English and I have to write this book translated in German. I cannot get rid of like a lot of things because they're like they got evolved through language and religion to that we say things like that. I cannot change that, and if we change it for the people that read that book, it will be really hard to understand what we mean without the context. And we cannot always give the context, because that would mean that we would have write an entire book that is just context for the novel we are writing, and that is not the intent. So those things are still there. There may be like some like typical sayings, like instead of like don't poke the hornet nest or whatever you would say don't poke the dragon's nest. Like things like that would maybe be different, but like a lot of like animals we have exist there too, and like the technology they have is similar to us. They still have mobile phones, they have the internet, they're probably building a rocket right now to explore space. Like those things are still there and happening. It's just like we needed like explanations for things. Like I wrote holidays. You know what you know why I wanted a main religion and stuff? Because I wanted an excuse to still have Christmas. It's now called It's now called Giftmas, and like the things you do are a bit different. Like all the holidays I have are mostly based on the 12 saints and what they did. So the 1st of January is the day where both moons are full. This only happens once a year, so this is the start of the new year. On the last day of January, the 30th, there is like there's a lantern parade because the first saint, the saint of the bunny, the saint of hope, was always it was a pair of twins, and they were always seen with like a lantern with a white magic stone that looked like the moon, and at night they were guiding people to like human camps to make sure that they could travel safe. And after they were done, they would give this lantern to the humans, telling them to do the same in the future. So this lantern ride is now happening to like, now it's just like a parade where children will like go around with like paper lanterns, or like some people still have like metal lanterns with actual magic stones, but those are like family heirlooms. And they would like go on this like little parade through the town, and then at the end of the parade you would give this lantern to either a family member that you wish to like, that you want to have like a good year, or you give it to a partner. If you give a paper lantern to a partner, you wish more like silently wish that this relationship will last for the entire year. Like you wish to be together with them until the end of the year, because you need this lantern at the end of the year again. If you give a metal lantern, a family heirloom, it is literally the promise to marry this person this year. Like this is like a marriage proposal, a silent one. You still give a ring, but this is like a very silent thing, because you give this lantern, what belongs to family, to someone who doesn't belong to your family yet. So you tell them with giving them the lantern that they will become part of the family by marriage. And like this, I like sprinkled through like a bunch of different things. There's like Halloween is kind of a thing, but it's like the festival of the deaf. It's similar to like the Spanish, I forgot what it said, like the thing that they celebrate in Luca. No, not Luca. Coco.
Muertos?
Yeah, the day where they like celebrate the death, like drawing like those skulls on their face and stuff. And like I made like a mixture of that. Like on that day, you like light a candle, and you don't snuff the candle out. You let it like burn down on its own, and you would make paper flowers to like remember the dead and just like respect the life they have lived. And like nowadays, children will fold paper flowers and will go from because usually you share you make like sweet buns with your family while remembering like the dead, and make them as like a little sacrifice, but also share them with your family to value life. But nowadays, like some families still make sweet buns themselves, but a lot of children will like fold paper flowers and go from house to house, and in exchange for a flower they get a piece of candy. So like children will like the day before that holiday will all sit together in groups and start folding paper flowers so they can give them out to ask for candy. So you have to give something to get something in return. And like that, I try to sprinkle in like holidays that we in our world know, but at the same time like rewrite them a tiny bit. But like language wise, I didn't want to touch that, because if we like change like entire sayings like bless you when someone sneezes, like we could have say Gesundheit, so good health. But like if you read in the book that someone sneezes and then the character says good health, people would be confused. They wouldn't know what this means unless they know that the German word for bless you is Gesundheit, what literally means good health. So
you don't want to create your entire bibliography in the front of your book explaining every single detail like they used to do in those old fantasy books?
We're looking for accessibility, not homework.
Do you know how much I was already writing on all of this? Like, there's so much knowledge we have to cram into this book, and just like find ways to like a lot of the magic system will be explained because both our characters have to learn magic from, you know, like from the grounds up, because they both were not casters, but through an incident they got the ability to cast magic now. So now they have to understand how casting works. So that's how we can feed the reader the explanations how magic works, because like those two characters don't know it. So we can just like show like 1 or 2 lessons they're sitting in, or like talk about something they had in their lesson to like make sure the reader knows. It is also having illustrations, so we can like put in some runes. But we cannot just like have like an entire book. Like we want to make at the end like as a PDF that you can get when you purchase the book. It's like a concept art and book, so it would just like explain all the details that we've written, show like concept art of characters, show like, you know, like explain art that like shows how different magical creatures looks like, that we used as guidelines for when we were writing. And this would just be accessible for people that get the book. So if you're interested, you could just like go through the booklet that like explains in more depth how like this religion is going, because there will not be an entire segment of the book that is just like explaining the religion. It will just mention the religion and mention like certain things, like, oh yeah, like I still have to buy a lantern for the lantern parade next week, will be a statement. But like we will not go into depth why they have to buy this lantern now.
Yeah, wrangling the exposition will be my job when I type it all up into an actual readable book.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that.
You're in charge of the Silmarillion.
Yeah, I'm writing up like excruciating detailed lore that Amy has to fit in somewhere, or that she needs for background information. Like, I wrote like details about this entire religion. We probably never mention half of those details, but if we ever need to mention them, we don't have to sit there suddenly in chapter 55 and be like, oh shit, what are we doing here? And we both have no clue. And then we can't finally come up with an excuse and suddenly realize that this excuse makes no sense in this context. So we would either have to rewrite previous things or have to break our brain. But we were smart, so we do all the lore planning and world building before we start to actually write.
Yeah. We have our lore reference docs, and the intent is that the audience never needs them.
Yeah. The intent is that audience will just get enough context clues to understand what is going on. It is mentioned that it is a slightly different word than ours. It also mentions the first sentence mentions the year you're in, because it is written with the intent of having multiple books, and because we don't want to be forced to always write continuations, and maybe want to keep the door open for prequels without making it too confusing. The first sentence in the book is the year, so if you want to read them in publishing order, you read them in publishing order, and you understand everything. If you want to only read one book, you understand everything that happens, and don't need the other books to understand. And if you want to read them in chronological order, you can just like go and only have to flip open the first side or look at the back of the book, and it tells you exactly which year you start, and so you know, oh, this book comes before that, so this is a prequel or this is a sequel. Every book is supposed to have different protagonists, so you don't need the other books to understand, but reading all of them gives you way more context. And sometimes characters show up as cameos in other books. So it is, if you read the first book and then you read the second book, you don't need the first book to understand what's happening. But if you read the first book, you're like, oh my god, it's them! I know them from book 1. This is the intent.
Okay.
So that way we leave it open to have to introduce new history, new culture, to introduce new curses that weren't mentioned before, or introduce new people without having to tippy-toe around the things we already stated. Any other questions that are very necessary right now? Like thing that you just burned to ask?
You can ask your questions. If I
Right.
come up with something, I'll say.
I think I'll end it on the very last question. How does the world end?
We don't know.
That's spoilers.
No,
world
I'm not talking. I'm not. In your book, like in your world, in your universe, how do they think the world will end? Every culture has like this is how things are going to end.
The sun will explode, like the typical thing. People that understand science will probably believe their world will end. They either find a way to not make the sun die at some point, or the sun will die at some point.
So they believe they're so.
They
In
have
your world, it's believed the sun will explode.
they have an understanding of science. So, the typical thing that people nowadays think is how the world will end is probably either the humanity will ruin the planet to a point where we just have a war, or like just destroy the planet to the point that we don't have resources anymore and we die, or that the sun will explode, and even if we manage to survive until that point, we all die.
So-
If we go,
So there's the saints will come back and shepherd us to another land, or we will become one with the elements and the spirits,
people will hope
Or-
that.
or
That's
magic.
one for the religious jobs. I think we haven't covered that in the religion so far. We covered the start of the religion, and we haven't like written the whole holy book.
Yeah, like
or
I
magic will transform everything into a new world.
like when I written this religion, I wanted it to be like to not take a jab at any religion. Like, please understand, everyone, I respect every religion out there, but I didn't want to like be the religion. Like, most of the script is just like, oh, if you tilt the book sideways, it will like leak out so much blood and gutter material. I didn't like when I was writing it. I wrote it with the intent that we need a main religion. None of the main character is religious enough to actually be invested in this religion, so we needed it for holidays. We needed it for how the years is written. We needed it for zodiacs. Those were the purposes we needed religion for. We needed religion because religion does shape a world. So this was how it was intended. But because none of the characters is like a religious fanatic with this religion in mind, I'm not looking at other characters that are religious fanatics, but none of the main character is a religious fanatic that would probably have written the script to the point where there is talk about a rapture or whatever else. I'm not religious myself. I have not written a lot of religious books that talk about if the world will end in it. I have the feeling not all religious texts end with or have somewhere written inside how they believe the world end. I think some just like have like the idea of how the afterlife looks like.
No, almost every religion has some idea of the world ending. Like Aztecs, they believe that we were on our 7th world. Like it has ended 7 times before it has came to what we call Earth now. Many Eastern religions believe in reincarnation, that once this is over, another one will pop up.
I like the concept. I like the concept
what
of
people believe-
reincarnation.
Yeah.
Like, I love to include the concept of reincarnation, not the thing that you just like being reincarnated as the exact same person or with memories or anything, but just like that life is like an endless cycle, and like if your life ends, you just like, your soul is giving a new body, and if your soul reaches an age where it crumbles, it would just turn into soul dust, and out of the soul dust, a new soul that was never born before is born, and gets its first body. Like, I like this concept in fantasy, so I like to sprinkle it in. So the religion I wrote probably has like some form of believing in that every soul is getting reborn, but like that is like our world and our book is very much not confirming if there is an afterlife. We're not confirming if God is real. Believers think God is real, not atheists think God is a hoax. They just think like it's like religious bullcrap. My protagonist that I write, Aura, is an atheist. She does not believe in God. She thinks if God exists, it's a massive bitch. Because her life is like almost exclusively made out of suffering and misfortune. So she doesn't find comfort in religion. She sees religion almost as a mockery of her suffering and be like, oh, it's like if someone would go up to her and say, oh, this is just like a way of God testing you, she would be like, well, fuck you and fuck your God then. So, because there was no necessary need to write how those people believe and how it ends, I haven't written it.
Okie dokie.
Like, there's probably a concept, like, probably they believe in reincarnation, but that's just because the author Maho just likes that concept. Also, this god is like, because this is the god of magic, it like a lot of the teachings from this god is about like how to, like it talks a lot about how humans got the gift of magic and stuff, and how God sent down 12 saints to help humanity back on their feet after the spirits were done with their war. Like, there's no mentioning that God ever stopped the war from happening, because again, this war did happen for 100 years and no one stopped it. Like the way humans learned magic, it was said that God took many forms to teach humans, but in reality it was spirits and other humans that were teaching humans how to do magic. So, like, I made this a very vanilla religion with not a lot of, like, hardcore conflict. You know, I made, like, religion light because I didn't want to go too deep into, like, you know, like, religion being, like, because it was written so many years ago, it's, like, super, like, sexistic and stuff. Like, like, there are 12 saints and, like, 6 of them, and technically 7 of them, are women that were all respected. I felt like I don't need to write misogyny into this book by introducing religion. I was like, how would I make a religion that is not misogynistic? How about a religion that loves women? It also loves men.
How does miracles and divine power working that?
Well,
like, does someone just assume someone cast a magic spell, or is there like a belief that the spirits or the saints or God directly intervened in something? Like,
there are old legends that talk about how God took the form of insert something here that did something great, to do the great thing. Because the first mortal form that God took was a dragon. Dragons are a sign that God is present and watching. If you see one, because it means like, oh, because dragons are really secluded creatures, so you don't see them often, like, fly over cities. Like, sometimes you can live an entire life and never see a flying dragon, except
right,
on
so
TV.
There is a belief in the divine outside of magic.
Oh yeah, they because it is the god of magic, they believe the fact that magic exists is a sign that God is there. That is their belief. They believe God's breath was God breathed, like blowed.
Yeah.
I don't know what. This is me not knowing
Yeah,
how to
no,
say.
yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
breathe magic into the world. So like the first like story is about like that the world was like a barren land and almost no creatures were living on it, because there was like So he took a big breath and breathed magic into this world, and with that, like the world started to thrive, nature started to thrive, and the creatures that were already existing were blessed with this magic, creating the magical creatures that live now among animals. So like animal life could only start to thrive even though they don't have magic after nature was in a state where, you know, creatures could develop properly, and the creatures that managed to survive all these hard days were rewarded with like the ability to have better abilities to handle magic. And one of those creatures was a dragon, and so God took this dragon at some point when humans were like existing, and like, you know, like round the world as a dragon for the first time, blessing the dragons with God's immortal life. But because they're still fleshly vessels, they're only almost immortal, meaning they can live multiple thousand years.
Okay, so dragons are kind of considered divine creatures by
Yes.
this religion.
Yes,
Gotcha.
they
Divine by association.
yes, spirits.
The chosen animal.
Yeah, they're the chosen animal. Like probably if they would have a symbol, I haven't created a symbol for this church. Could it still be called a church? For this like religion, it didn't create a symbol, but it would probably include either something that looks like a magic wand, or a dragon or something like this, or a dragon wing or something. Like it would include a dragon because they're like a big part of this. There are like artistic depictions of the god of magic, and it's usually a faceless creature that is androgynistic, that the body looks like it's made out of space, so like darkness and stars, with either a white cloak or a white witch hat. You know, like a big like witch or wizard hat. Like depending on like the depiction, it's usually a white piece of clothing. Sometimes instead of wearing headwear, they're having white hair. But like, you know, religious depiction. But like the common denominator is like a creature that doesn't have like facial features and is made out of stars and darkness.
Okay.
Darkness.
Who is the antagonist
Of
god? Quote unquote demon god.
Of God, the
Like,
antagonist
the
of God.
elementals.
The-
Yeah, the elementals agreed to stop killing humans, but I'm pretty sure, especially the bigger ones, aren't exactly happy with that.
Oh,
So
no.
I'm sure
they-
there's like some few in the deep darkness who really want to see humans gone.
Oh, Spirit Society has also, you know,
Who
like
is the devil?
yeah, like that was the thing that is the thing that I wanted to like clarify with Amy at some point, because I don't want to get rid of the what the hell kind of speaking pattern, so we kind of need like something like an underworld. But I was more thinking of like introducing an underworld Hades style instead of an underworld of like internal suffering, you know? Like more of a, okay, like the afterlife is just like your soul going to the underworld, getting cleansed from all its memories, and then it's getting like back into the reincarnation cycle kind of deal, instead of like, oh yeah, there's a devil that is just like torturing you for all your sins.
Well, what I'm trying to say is like you have the head honchos, the people who are generally on the side of humans, like
Oh,
like the same.
okay, let me
Who are the
there
who are
are
the ones against them?
oh there's
The
still
ones who
there's still a bunch
the one
of
who want to the one who wants to see the like the elementals, or maybe an anathema of some sort. It doesn't have to be like the devil who worships over hell. I'm talking about like
do you
the-
okay, question, Sunny. Do you ask who the
Yeah.
antagonist is of this book, or do you ask in general, like what is the
What's
big
the
evil?
antagonist of the religion?
Who is the monsters under the bed? Who is the boogeyman? Who is the guy who wants you gone? The supernatural entity, Asmodeus from D&D, basically.
Okay, so
Am
again,
I not being good with this? I'm sorry.
like I'm trying to realize if you just mean if like people generally believe in it, or if this is like a religious thing. Like
It could be either way. Like,
there are like scary stories that usually are based on magical creatures. So like there are stories about like monsters because they're like someone saw like the shadow of like a magical creature and thought of, and like the next day all their sheeps were dead, so they were thinking there was like this big monster.
let me try it this way. All right. Okay, so you had like the dark, you had like the basic elementals against the spirits.
Okay, so the elementals are
Yeah.
it is the elemental spirits against the empath spirits.
Empath. Okay, it's
Okay.
empath spirits.
So
Assuming some of the
both
Anthem-
societies had rulers already. There are stronger beings that were all involved in the war. And the spirits that, the strongest spirits that had like ruling power over the other spirits, at some point decided to stop this war because it was a losing battle for both parties. So they still look down on humans and see them as lesser beings. Many see like humans as literally just like dressed monkeys. But they don't mess with them anymore, because if there are spirits that hate humans, and you know what happens to them if they get caught in like causing drama, and they're getting, they get, for the fact that they're getting caught by causing drama, killing humans, or just like letting out their anger and causing humans to, look bad at spirits, meaning they would not listen to them anymore. Like that is like it would be bad for both types of spirits. Empath spirits need humans because humans are literally human emotions are delicacies for empath spirits. Elemental spirits need nature, and as long as humans listen to spirits, they will not destroy nature. But if, like an elemental spirit, like a water elemental spirit, will go on and drown people all the time, well, what would human do out of protest? They would maybe go to like a perfectly fine lake and dump as many chemicals in until the entire lake is poisoned, even though this lake was known to be a breeding place for elemental spirits. That would be bad for the elemental spirits. So the elemental spirit that did go around and kill people doesn't get punished by human laws, but gets punished by elemental laws, by spirit laws. Sorry. So the spirits have their own rules. There are spirits that think it's stupid, but you know what spirits can do if they don't want to fuck with humans? They don't go to the human realm. They just don't interact with them. There are many spirits that live in the magic plane and just don't give a fuck about humans. They have their daily life there as well, and they don't need to interact with humans. They're just like a selective few that do interact with humans either out of boredom or because they want to influence humans in a certain way. Some do it in a positive way, some like apply as a candidate for president every time because they can live for a couple thousand years, and sometimes they win the election, sometimes they lose, and every time they change their political views on what they want to fight for because they can just do it, and no human law could stop them really from do it. Elementals could spirits could stop them, but spirits don't really give a fuck if this spirit is a minor inconvenience. If the spirit is doing like propaganda, making sure that humans start to hate spirits, they would get rid of him, or at least punish him in some form and stopping him from interacting with humans because, hey, you are giving us a bad rap. Stop that. We need humans to listen to us, because if they don't, they would just dump their shit into oceans again. We don't want that. You don't want the ocean incident happening again. You know what happened the last time Bill was a big of an asshole and some humans thought like it would be funny as revenge to dump like an entire country worth of garbage into the ocean. You know how the birth rate declined that year. So, like, spirits have their reasons why they don't really mess with humans, but that doesn't mean they like humans or they fight for their rights. They're literally just, okay, we all have, it benefits us to not kill you, because it's kind of cool that you go out and actually plant new plants and actually take care that like rivers stay clean if someone else throws garbage in. Like, this is actually kind of cool. Like, but for that, we need to be like something you want to be helpful to. So, there is no like big bad thing. At least I didn't wrote one. There are antagonists. There are bad people out there. There are bad spirits out there. There were probably multiple cases of spirits just going on a murder spree because they can. There are many spirits that do illegal contracts that ask for way too much.
But nothing in the dark doing the whispering of...
No,
the dark whisperings.
No, there's no big dark evil force. The evil things that happen are literally people and creatures that just decide to go the wrong way or to think they're doing the right thing. There's not a great big evil. Everyone can be
what
evil.
Sunny's asking is, who's the robot devil in your religion?
We don't have a robot devil. At least not now.
That's your answer. 3 words.
Like, the religion maybe has something that they would see as evil, but I haven't figured it out yet because this question was never important before. But people in general, like, they're like stories about evil things. They have the internet. You know what creepypastas are. We still have them there. We have like urban legends of monsters and creatures that do harmful things that are completely fabricated, and every spirit will tell you, no the fuck we didn't. But there's still like middle schoolers tell each other creepy stories about like this one spirit that was like doing this weird thing.
Gotcha.
I think the biggest evil of the world are generational curses that happened in the past. Generational curses didn't happen for quite some time now, because, you know, we stopped, you know, like, the reason a generational curse happens is that one caster or like a group of casters are getting wronged or like getting tortured, or like something bad happens, like something really bad happens, and someone with enough magical power uses up their entire life force. They not use only their magic, they're sacrificing their life out of spite. So they're calling out the curse. They're not doing a magic circle to curse someone or a region. They speak like with magic in their voice, but instead of casting, they say spiteful things. The werebeast curse was done. A powerful witch in the past got burned at the stake, so she was cursing the entire city, who was burning her because she, like, according to those religious idiots, she was not living the way the 12 saints taught people to live. They thought she lived in sin and like she was dangerous to everyone around her, so they burned.
She wasn't casting magic the way I wanted her to.
Exactly.
She was burned at the stake, and as the fire was burning underneath her, she was cursing the entire the entire city, because those are the people that wronged her, to turn into the animal saints that they worship so much. but because she used all her remaining life for that, she died before the fire could consume her. But because like she could not completely turn them into animals, but she turned them into werebeasts instead. So an entire big city worth of people were suddenly turned into fuzzy furries, and some not so fuzzy furries. And this generational curse can only more or less be bred out, meaning if a werebeast has a child with a human, it will turn into a beastman, what is like a Kekomimi girl, so a human with, like, for example, cat ears and a cat tail. And has a weaker version of that curse. And if a beastman and a human have a child, there's a chance that they have human children, and that's how you breed out that curse. But a lot of the werebeasts, especially in the first couple years, like very stayed, like together, because like the outside world didn't know what happened. So to protect themselves, they often like stay close together. So they were just like keeping the curse alive with every generation until, they could finally manage to fight for their rights to be accepted as normal human beings. And then they could like live with amongst other humans without being like, treated as monsters. And that's like how, like, nowadays, there are not that many werebeasts anymore. Like, it's like, what did I say with the percentage? Like, from the entire country's population, like the maximum of 5% of the people are werebeasts. Like, this is how much it bred out.
Okay.
So yeah, like, generational curses are probably the most evil thing that people try to fight against right now. Because some generational curses are like the werebeasts live now like this, and they don't mind it too much, most of them.
They got used to it.
They got used to it. Like, they have to like every month, like on the day they would have their, like exactly a month after they were born, they would turn for 24 hours into an animal. In that state, they cannot speak or cast magic, but they're, like, they can still think. Like, and after 24 hours, they turn back into their normal form. They can willingly turn into animals, if they want. But like, in the past, this was pretty cool. But also for like the smaller kinds of werebeasts, like bunny werebeasts, mouse werebeasts. This is a dangerous thing. Because like you as a mouse werebeast, you would not have a cat as a pet, because your cat could literally kill you in those 24 hours where you forcefully transform and cannot transform back. So, like, it has like downsides.
Just get good at dodging.
Yeah, like
Be good.
Yeah, it's just like, it is. They live with it. They're like. We wrote at least one other generational curse that happens in the second book, and let's just say this generational curse is very highly inconvenient to the people that have it. People that don't have it think the people with this curse are blessed. And
this one is actually a curse and not just Amy wants an excuse to add furries.
Yeah, like in the first book, I gave Amy an excuse to have furries because she just wanted to have a furry main character. So I gave her an excuse to have furries. So I wrote an entire story how werebeasts are a thing, and werebeast breeding functions and stuff. There are no crossbreeds. It's just like it's either or for the species. If the parents are the same species, it's obviously the same species. If it's a cat furry and a dog furry, it's like 50% it's a cat or 50% it's a dog. There's no cat-dog happening. But like the second book has like a really dark curse. Like, the people that suffer from that curse are truly suffering from it, and the government abuses it. And uses and does like, there's like in the second book, there's a lot of like the country that deals with that is a monarchy, and they use a lot of propaganda to make the curse bearers tied to the military, and literally abuses those people and controlling them, risking their lives just to turn them into literal weapons. They're dehumanizing all the curse bearers and make the people that don't have the curse look down on people that don't enlist themselves into the military. Like they do so much propaganda to manipulate the general public's opinion about the curse bearers, to peer pressure them into obeying. And so like this is a curse that is truly dangerous for the people that are cursed, and they truly wish to get rid of it because it endangers their life. It has effects on their daily life. It stops them from having a normal life because this curse is constantly interfering. And I think that so in the second book, the big greatest evil is this generational curse. In the first book, it's a bunch of like lunatic people who are the great evil. People that are, you know, like a bit of overachievers that just go a little bit too far. You know, like the people that go to slave markets and buy themselves a couple of slaves because they just want to prove a point. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think we answered like a lot of questions. Like Amy and I are constantly writing lore about this book, creating characters. For example, for Mate Toba, we both drew our both protagonists. Just so you heard it, because I forgot to mention it before, the book is will be called Flores Magica, which is just Latin for flower magic, and like every book is like called Flores Magica and then a specific flower. I came up with this naming convention. I peer pressured Amy to agreeing with me because I wanted to use flower language. To like the flower that is mentioned for the book is literally a summary of what the main thing, like the main thing this book is about, like the end goal or the main meaning that is in the book. So we want to hide like the entire plot in the title without having an isekai long title. It is because it is a collaborative project. There will always be two protagonists that have to like overcome things. The two protagonists for the first book that we tried out the magic for today are Aura, what is my character, and Satei, who is Amy's character. They meet through a traumatic incident and get the ability to learn how to cast magic. You guys made it very clear to me that sometimes it's a bit difficult to understand the runes, but if you get the runes already pre-written, you seem to understand how they work. I didn't see any big part missing. If you, however, afterwards like look over the sheet of paper and feel like, hey, Maho, you could maybe add this rune. This could make things very easy if you add this rune. You can let me know later on when you had time to think about it. I will see if it would fit or not. But I feel like this was a productive test that showed me that it is a bit difficult, but you seem to understand it if the right explanation is there. And a lot of things is also just like, accept that it is magic, please. I spent
right.
so...
How do I switch from Steam to Fog?
With an extra syllable?
Intent.
Yeah, intent.
Okay, sorry, my mom asked me something.
Ah.
Yeah, Steam and Fog are two different things, and they do very different things. Steam is usually...
Yeah.
to produce energy, and fog is usually there to conceal things or do illusions. Or create fog, you know, the literal usage. I hope you all had fun with this, even with the little technical difficulties in the middle, and like, I was very happy that you asked so many questions. This book is a very big passion baby between Amy and me. I just said I wanted to write roleplay again, and Amy said she would do it, and then we realized we did so much world building that we could write it into a book, because Amy is an author and I'm addicted to world building and character creation. So I hope, like, probably by next month we maybe started writing. So probably expect like drafts of maybe the first chapter, maybe next year or the year after. If we do publish, Amy will give the drafts available for people that subscribe to her Ko-fi. So if you're like a monthly subscriber to her Ko-fi, you can get early access to like drafts of the chapters. The book will be then available when it's finally written on both our Ko-fis, and I probably will translate it into German and offer a German version, so we can offer it in English and in German. So I hope you look forward to it. We've really put a lot of effort into it, as you maybe could have guessed by the amount of yapping I did today. And I'm very much interested to see if you like the story when it's finally written. If you ever had any question about the world building, or you just want to, you know, like make sure we have more things to think about, that goes to you, Sunny. You are free to like randomly ask questions. However, if you ask the questions separately to either Amy or me, you could get different answers if we haven't talked about it yet.
You will definitely get different answers.
Yeah.
Will there be a Patreon?
We haven't made a Patreon yet, so that's why we're using Ko-fi.
Where?
We maybe
Will there be a place I could to my own OST original product? Do not steal.
You mean like where you can get the book when it's done?
No. Is there a place I can put my own OC, my original character? Do not steal. I'm making a joke.
You can put them anywhere that OCs are found. DeviantArt, fucking E621.
Of course.
There will be plenty for E621, believe me.
Yeah, also, like we highly, like if you like the setting, I maybe, if the first book is like in a state of almost being done, or being done and people actually read it, I am inclined to maybe talk about turning it into a TTRPG that plays in the same world, at some point, but that is only like far in the future.
Baby steps now.
Baby steps, exactly. Like, if the book is published and people actually like the setting, I may be interested in doing it, because Eden asked for it. You can make OCs for the story. You can make fan art of the stories. You can write fan fictions of the characters. You know, like we love fan content. So if you see something and you like it, feel free. If we will slowly like show signs of progress. So if you see a progress sign and you're like, oh my god, they finally published the character sheets of the main characters, let me draw them gay kissing. By the way, please draw them gay kissing. Like, literally every book is about the lesbian couple.
You are encouraged to draw the gay kissing.
Yeah. We literally have, like, the main couple are lesbians, and like the side, like one of the main side couples is gay. So we have like all flavors of queerness in there. And colors and races, like literally, we have bunnies. We're so inclusive, we even include furries. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that's only because you know I wouldn't let you write with me if we didn't.
Yeah. Well, at least I got her to not make a furry for every book. You know, like small victories on my side too. So yeah, like we would be happy to see you in the comments or like in our Discord when it's like when we post about updates. Feel free to ask questions. Leave comments if you like this magic system. You can find in my Discord server the summary sheet of this presentation if you just wanted to like try and make your own spells. If you do, tag me on like whatever platform you posted on, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. Like if you make your own spells, tag me there. I want to see them. Tag me and let teacher Maho see if you did a spell wrong or if something explodes in your face. Until then, remember, little sparks, you're the reason I can shine. I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Until then, I say bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Hey.